It's time now for the Weather Blender blog, and it is for the 8th of April. Hi everybody, Spencer Adkins once again inside the Weather Lab. Now, just before we get going, some people do like to ask us the occasional question, and someone asked us, what do you guys do in between newscasts? What is it that you kind of do to help fill your time? Well, one thing that we like to do is spend a lot of time looking at models. That's looking at weather models. So anyhow, that's something that we do, and we're going to do that right now with you. We're going to check out some of the weather models. We do expect some pretty big changes. We're going to start right off with that Doppler radar. Now, of course, this will be a little bit dated, but just to give you a sense of where the storms are coming from the west, working their way out of Indiana into Ohio eventually, and continuing on to the east throughout Kentucky and West Virginia. It's a pretty nice line of storms, as you can see here. Now, as we continue, I want to show you the surface map. Big cold front that's helping to drive those showers and storms to the east. Big area of low pressure up over Illinois. We'll continue to show you. This is a little different map, something we're going to get into here in the warm season. We call these day 1, day 2. They're issued by the Storm Prediction Center. A slight risk of severe weather means it's actually a pretty good chance that you'll see at least a few severe thunderstorms inside that green zone. Leads right on up to about the Portsmouth, Ohio area, and that is through the early morning hours through about 7 to 8 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, but you'll notice that it kind of skips then from that point throughout the rest of the day on Thursday. So basically what that tells us is, in looking at some of the forecast models, it looks like we just don't have the heat, the humidity, the lift needed to continue with severe weather right in that early morning time frame, but still some strong thunderstorms should be expected. Let's continue now, show you what's going on. This is 500 millibars, get up about 18,000 feet. Those oranges and browns and reds, that is what we call vorticity. That is an area where you see lift, and you see the big U shape. That's a trough. That's a big area of low pressure that's kind of protruding to the south, as well as cold air. And this is looking out at about 1 in the morning as we get ready to get up and go, even before we get up and go on Thursday morning. So you can see big disturbance that's going to help continue to drive those showers to the east. Now, this is a little different look again, too, using the NAM model, one of the models that actually spits out a forecast radar. And you can see the heavy showers right on the doorstep of the Huntington area at about 8 in the morning on Thursday. Continuing through Thursday, though, they weaken, again, because it's not the favored time. If this was 5 in the afternoon, we'd see a huge difference, but it's not. And in fact, we see that by 7, 8 o'clock at night on Thursday, most of that activity is done. We shift back to the normal weather model to show you again. The blue line would be freezing or below if you're to the north of that blue line at 5,000 feet. A little drier on Friday, but I think we'll still have a lot of clouds left over. Maybe quick sprinkles. Certainly, if you're below freezing at 5,000 feet, you're only going to make it up to about, the 50s for highs at the surface. And again, looking out toward the morning on Saturday, high pressure begins to build in. See that 1028 bubble? That's a nice area of high pressure. And it looks like things are going to stay dry for days on end. There you can see the next 7 days. Yeah, 60s, but falling with the storms Thursday. Only in the 50s Friday. There's a beautiful stretch of weather Saturday through Wednesday, going from the 60s through the 80s. So that's the latest right here on the Weather Blender blog. We appreciate you clicking in. Feel free to leave us a comment down below, shoot us an email, anything to get in touch with us, or you can find us on Facebook. Of course, leave us a comment there, and we'll be glad to answer your questions as we roll along. Lots of spring weather here, getting cold, then getting warm all over again on the Weather Blender blog.